Hello there. Welcome to this week's edition of House Call. It is in the triple digits in Sacramento today and for the next few days. So it seemed to make the most sense to talk about heat-related illnesses. Today, I'll be speaking about two in particular, heat exhaustion and heat stroke. First off, heat exhaustion occurs when your body has lost a significant amount of water and electrolytes through sweat. This can occur if one is working in an outdoor setting and there's extreme heat like today, or if one has been exercising profusely and their body has no way of being able to cool off. Many times people may have symptoms such as feeling nauseous, dizzy, they may have a headache. Also, they'll have a lot of sweating. They can also become very irritable and be extremely thirsty, and their body temperature can be very high, and their urine output, or how often they pee, can be very low. That is giving us a hint that the water that their body should be losing through urine is instead being lost through their pores with sweat, and that can be very concerning. The more serious version of heat exhaustion is heat stroke. This is the extreme level of the body being unable to cool itself down, and one's body temperature can be measured as high as 106 degrees Fahrenheit. With heat stroke, someone can pretty much start having seizures. They can have an altered mental status, meaning they may not know their own name, they can't recognize you. They'll also possibly have loss of consciousness, confusion, and also result in seizures. And as I mentioned before, their body temperature will be extremely warm and pretty much hot to the touch. In that case, if someone's having heat stroke, one needs to contact your emergency medical services by calling 911 and getting them an ambulance immediately. But before we get to that point, there's some things we can do to help prevent having either of those situations. First of all, when outdoors is going to be very warm, like today with a possible 104 degree high, you want to limit your time outside. When there's high heat and high humidity, your body doesn't have an easy way to dissipate heat. And sweat is the way we cool off. Our skin will have the sweat on the surface, and then there's this evaporation of the sweat that's supposed to help us cool off. That's why, as you notice, if you sit in front of a fan and you've been feeling sweaty, when the air hits the skin, you feel cooler with that. So in high temperature settings, especially with high humidity, limit your time outdoors. If you want to take a walk, go for a jog, work on your garden, it's best to do those activities in the early parts of the day or in the later evening. That will help reduce your risk of being in the sun too much or in very warm weather. Remaining well hydrated is key during this time. For both of those conditions I mentioned, it happens when you don't have enough water in your body. So as you're sweating, you're losing water from your system. You need to help replenish that by drinking water. So keeping a water bottle handy, making sure your children or other people's children that are with you, having them drink plenty of water is key. Also, making sure you're keeping an eye on others around you. If you've been outside or just sitting on your front porch and you notice someone's looking a little tired, looking a little fatigued, check in on them. Especially during high heat times like now, checking in on your neighbors or other people in your neighborhood that might live by themselves. This is a good time to do it, to make sure that they're okay. Also, if you have a home that has no way to get cooler, try to go to either cooling centers in your area. And I know as a kid, our family used to go to the library because it was cool there. I know we really can't do that right now, but there should be other areas in your community where you can go to cool off. As always, if you're going outdoors, try to make sure to put on your sunscreen to protect your skin from UV rays. As always, continue to take care of yourself and others around you. I'll be seeing you next week with the next edition of House Calls. Thank you, and I'll see you then.